rise. And now, to honor America, please join in the singing of our national anthem. Representing the three-time Stanley Cup champion New Jersey Devils, Arlette.
I feel like I'm at a game. Oh my gosh. Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the
Happy Devils Sunday! This is the Let's Go Devils podcast, season 4, episode Nico 13.
Ooh,
Streaming live.
very nice.
Facebook
Very
Live,
nice.
Twitter, Periscope. Actually, Twitter and Periscope is not streaming because they suck. YouTube Live and Twitch on the Primetime Radio Network. Tonight's title's called Devils Penalty Kill Improving. Still need more offense. Beer Baron, Short Sky, welcome to the big show. As Scotty and I were anchoring for about 35 minutes, I was making predictions, getting pissed off.
Sam, I would never envision you being pissed off about Devils hockey.
What, about the light guy at Prudential Center that can't even turn off the damn light?
Oh, tonight it just, just so much from the start of the game. Just so much went wrong. From what's his name? Aho, is that his name? That was just. Oh, by the way, you have to get ready and come out on the ice, and then within 5 minutes he throws the puck to the net. And we get one of the worst bad luck bounces, which I feel like it's not just bad luck. It's just Devils hockey with these bad luck bounces or these bad luck plays. Here this guy wasn't expecting to play, throws the puck at the net, winds up getting an assist on a goal, which I'm sure you guys talked about in the post game. And then we're down, and then we're tying, which we have made a habit of at least tying at some of the games in the last week. Which, in full disclosure, it's been a busy week, and I have not watched as much Devils hockey as I would like to watch. So I'm just going to throw that out there. Full disclosure. But as far as the rest of the game going today, we tie it up. Things are looking good. Okay, go to overtime. We get a point. We haven't at least, finally get a point. We haven't got a point since the Washington game, because the Islanders have just, actually, we got a point tonight, and we got a point against Washington on Tuesday, and those are our first 2 points since we beat Boston of all teams. But anyway, you go into overtime. Okay, the Devils come out, and then here we go. PK Subban, holy crap, he scores. phenomenal goal, picking a corner, and then you're like, all right. And then you're looking at the TV screen and they're like,
And yeah.
oh, wait, they're not. Why aren't they leaving? Why aren't they leaving? And then they go to the tape and then they start looking at the offsides. And for anyone that's not a soccer supporter, this is the same kind of crap that everyone argues about with VAR in all the especially in the Premier League. Like, they looked at the smallest, minute detail of that skate being offsides or onsides. And as they made that call, and my first reaction was, well, that's just the type of luck we have. And then my second thought was, well, we're going to end up losing. As much as I didn't want us to lose. Because that power play, we had all that zone time in the power play, which is exhausting as a goaltender. So you're kind of thinking, all right, well, maybe we can exhaust him. And then even after that, with that at the end of the third period, it just, I don't know. We have the worst luck. I'm sure, Scotty, like I said, you and Sam just complained and harped about this in the post game. So I'm probably just rehashing everything that you guys have said and everything's already heard. But this is my first appearance in a week, so it sucks. Wedgwood, I thought, looked phenomenal. Wedgwood, I love his play. I love his stance. He played very well. It just happened. I don't know. We just can't. The Devils, like our title, implies, we need more offense. We cannot score. 2 goals today, 2 goals yesterday, 3 goals on Thursday. We wound up getting 4 goals on Tuesday, but 1 against Boston. We lack scoring. We lack snipers. We lack the ability to win.
Do we lack?
I don't know.
Do we lack scoring? Do we lack scoring, or do we lack defense? Where 3 goals could win you a game. Do you know what I mean? Like that's the other part of it too. Well, we do lack scoring. I'm not denying that. I'm just saying, like, we also lack the ability to have
our
a
PK
3-goal
has actually
game
been. Our PK has actually been pretty good.
League.
Yeah.
We're no longer last in the league. We've moved ahead of somebody. But the PK was atrocious there for a while. But I mean, it's gotten a lot better. The defense, it's still giving up 2-on-1s, but not as bad. I would say. I think we need scoring. We need consistent scoring. We don't have it.
All right. So let me tell you that
Scoring
connection between. Let me just tell you that connection between scoring and goaltending right there. If your team is not able to score for you, and get that early lead, get that early goal, from the goaltender's standpoint, you take it upon yourself to say, okay, well, everything I have to do has to be perfect. Otherwise, we have no shot. If we're only going to get 1 or 2, if I don't stop everything, we're not going to win, which then mentally kind of brings this, you wind up getting very harsh on yourself, and you wind up trying to overcompensate, and then you overanalyze things, and then when you make that one mistake and a goal goes in, and your team is not able to score or to respond like that, from the goaltending standpoint, that becomes difficult. Now, granted, I know these guys are professionals. This is their job. But, when you're being called upon to be perfect because your team can't do their job at the other end, then there you have a problem. Confidence goes down, which I have a feeling Mac Black is suffering from a confidence issue right now. Plus, we just don't know how much COVID really impacted him because he was looking lights out prior. And then COVID hit him, and he was out for all that time. And he has not looked as sharp. He's looked very good at times, but he's not holding the full game like we need him. Wedgwood, I think, has been phenomenal, but that's my at least analysis, just from personal experience. If your team can't score, like the Devils cannot score, then your game gets magnified. Everything you do as the goalie gets amplified, and it can sometimes become a mental issue with you, knowing that if you make a mistake, that could be the game. And then you're like, well, I let that goal in and we lost. We couldn't even get a point to go to overtime. Or we lost in overtime because I let in a goal. But then again, no one put the puck in the other net. So
yeah, and I think you're 100%. And what's happening right now too is you're seeing like Kuokkanen starting to heat up. You have Sharangovich is starting to heat up a little bit. But the problem is like parts of our team will heat up, and then the other part of the team that was like working well will completely not even like cool off, fall off the face of the earth. Like you remember a couple weeks ago, the Palmieri line. Yeah, the Palmieri line was like lighting it up, and Palmieri and Janssen were looking great. They were looking like a great tandem, and then like you threw Hughes on there, and it was fantastic. And that there felt like there was going to be consistency there, and then boop, they fell off the face of the earth. And then Bratt and Zaka and Hischier, that line was heating up, and unfortunately, the injury to Hischier. And by the way, anybody that's like, oh, he's not tough, go fracture your sinus and have a grade 1 concussion. And then try to come back from that, because that's not easy to do. So
holy crap! Just sneezing sucks.
Oh yeah, everything. You like you breathe through your nose. Try breathing through your nose when you have a sinus fracture. It's like anybody that's ever had a broken nose can tell you it's not easy. Oof, so you had that issue, and I think the last time we scored a power play goal was Nico Hischier, the game that he got hurt or the game before he got hurt. But I mean,
they scored one
all
today.
These things like, okay. Well, I'm the one I missed. Then they scored today. But point being, because I missed most of the game today, like you said, like full disclosure. But the point being is like the team, they have the ability to score. It's just consistency across the board with this team seems to be a nightmare. We're not making excuses, but that whole COVID thing, having this crazy schedule that they have, has to be weighing into that. But there's something that I wanted to ask Shorts Guy. I asked you the other day, but I don't know if you got back to me about it. You sent us an article about the Devils. I don't know who it was from or where you got it from.
I don't think that's true.
I don't think it's.
That's just people talking.
No, that's not. That I think is just speculation.
That's not true.
The only reason I sent it, I would have scrolled right.
Because of McLeod, I know.
I sent it, yeah, because Mikey McLeod was being rumored to be shipped out. So just knowing anything Mikey McLeod related has to be sent to our group chat just because of you.
Oh, for sure. But I mean, it's like I mean. Go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say there's, I don't think that we're gonna make that trade. I mean, who knows if we're gonna, what moves are gonna be made, because if they're gonna make a move, because the trade deadline's coming up, it's early April, I think. Was it April 18th, something like that? If they're gonna make a move based on who it is and where they're coming from, if it's going to be an impact, they got to do it now based on what I've heard. Like, I know coming from Canada that there's, obviously the COVID protocol, but I can't get a straight answer. And hopefully someone out there can give me a straight answer, because I've, talking to the Hockey on Tap guys and just do players need to quarantine coming from a team within the division or within the United States? Is there some kind of, I got to assume that there's got to be. But I haven't yet gotten a straight answer. But if we're going to make a move, we got to do it soon, because this season's quickly getting away from us. We're quickly going to have no chance of even playing for that bottom fourth spot. It's just that ship is really that ship is like out in the pier, and you're like, oh man, that thing is almost gone, isn't it? Because that thing is sailing hard.
I hate to break to you guys, but that ship was never even in the harbor. Like, we were never going to make the playoffs this year. Like, me and Sam talk about this all the time, and I bust on him. I mean, I said it, like, if the Devils can get to 500, that's a win. But there is no chance in hell. I'm sorry. There's no chance in hell that we are getting into that fourth spot. The Islanders, the Capitals, the Bruins, the Flyers, the Penguins. I'm sorry, we're not better than any of those teams. We can't beat them. We cannot beat those teams. We're not good. Yeah, and we need to trade these guys as soon as we can. We need to call Lou and get Travis Zajac shipped over to Long Island. We need to call Boston and get Kyle Palmieri shipped up there. He'll be perfect on their third line and give them the depth that they need. these guys have spots that they can go. I hope that Fitzy is, making moves and calling people right now.
So that therein lies the question, I guess, is like going forward. Obviously, we're not going to be buyers on any kind of thing, anybody right now, unless it's a long-term solution. Like, let's say, I don't know, you found somebody, you found a good winger or something like that for Jack Hughes, because he needs somebody that's going to score. He could set up a play, but he needs somebody that's going to finish. So right now, I feel like the team is in a position where obviously they're going to be sellers. There's no reason for them to even think about like bringing anybody in. Like you said, like there's no chance that they're going to make the playoffs once again, which sucks, but that's the reality. So we've talked about it before, but what are some of the pieces that you feel like are a definite gone, and what are some of the pieces that you feel like are starting to work their way into the conversation? Because I think PK is his cap hit is really rough to sell to anybody, but if we take back some of that salary, I mean,
exactly.
If we'd have to retain half of it. He's
playing like a man that wants to get traded, man. That's what he's doing. He's starting
to produce. Yeah.
Not starting. He's been. He's third on our team in points. He's third on our team in points
tonight, but he's potential. He's got to see the writing on the wall that, if he wants to go win, it's got to be somewhere that's not here. Which it's a tough pill to swallow for us, knowing that we're not the place that's going to win anytime soon. We are going to have to eat part of that. We're going to have to eat part of that contract. I'm just curious what we're going to get in return. Knowing I just want to make sure that we're not going to just be selling, and not at least getting some pieces or getting something that will build this team going forward. Because with the way this team looks right now, there's no one that's going to, over the summer on July 1st, go, New Jersey's an option. Because right now, it's New Jersey's not an option for anyone. Because I
2 years from now,
imagine
unless we overpaid, which
2 years from now, and then even that's my call. 3 years from now is when we're actually going to be really, really good. But 2 years from now, I think next year we'll see the Balls, we'll see the Ahoychucks, we'll see the Walshes, the Holtz, Mercer. I don't know if we'll see Muhammad Doolin yet, but I think we're going to see Nolan Foote. I think we're going to see 6 big pieces come up next year. Hopefully by the end of this year, maybe we get a glance at some of those guys, but definitely next year.
And that's when you'll know that the Devils have, I don't want to say given up on the season, but when all those guys from Binghamton Newark are told, hey, come across the hallway.
The players aren't going to give up. The players aren't going to give up. They're going to go out there and play. I mean, they're playing for a spot.
Well, no. Just let me finish. When you start seeing those Binghamton Newark tryouts or the Binghamton Newark auditions happen at the end of the season, that's when it's kind of like, well, that's right now where we're at, because we've seen it enough since 2012 that towards the end of the season we're not in it. It becomes audition time for all the guys down in the AHL. And it's almost a somewhat depressing moment when you say, well, this is what we've come to.
I think this time it could be.
It's great to see. It's great to see prospects, but it's like at the time it's that realization, like, well, this is it now.
But
I don't know.
These are finally the ones. These are finally the ones that we really want to see too.
We all hope. And it's just
I scream, you scream.
Like what we've seen over the last couple of years, it's like, I just would like to see some level of consistency, which we haven't had. And yes, these guys are the ones that we're all hoping for. And we were pleasantly surprised when Ty Smith made the team. And yes, he's the guy we were looking for. And the other pieces that are there, we're hoping that those are, that those are the guys too. But as of right now, it's like, I'm tired of hoping for next year.
Yep. I'm tired of looking forward to next year. Like, oh God, this season's like, now I'm getting to the point where I'll watch.
You can't do this. You can't do that. This is what happens. This is,
Can't
and
do
then
what?
you bring in Taylor Hall. You bring in a Taylor Hall, and then it's just going to set us back again, and we're gonna go into rewind.
I don't want that.
No, that's not what we're saying. Like, I don't know if you guys feel the same, but like, I'll watch the game. So, for example, like I caught about half of the game today, and it was like 2-2. When PK scored, I was like, yes, they did.
They
like
played well
when
today.
PK scored, I'm like, yes. I walk outside. I'm about to bring my dog outside. I'm like watching the game on my phone. And like Shorts guy said at the very beginning, like you see everybody hanging around, and I was just like, come on, man. And you just knew it. We were going to lose that game. And it's just like, it's not like in the beginning of the season, it was fun. Like it felt like exciting. It was like, oh, cool. Like I didn't have any expectations of the season. It wasn't like I think, like, yeah, we joke around like, yeah, they're going to make that 4th spot. And at points, Scotty, wait.
You guys all believe that we were going to make that. It's going to be there. A surprise. You guys all said that. Don't give me that.
Are you done? Are you done? Are you done? In the beginning of the year, yes, we were definitely drinking the Kool-Aid.
Exactly.
Yes, for sure. And you know what? But you know what? When you're let down so often, and you finally have like an inkling of hope, yeah, you grab onto it like it's that there's a saying. No, I'm not going to say it, but I'll say that one after the podcast. But you grab onto it like it's the last thing left, like it's the last roll of toilet paper right before a pandemic hits. You know what I mean? Like I held onto that son of a bitch because I was like, yes, this is it. Maybe we could squeak in. I didn't think we were going to go all the way and win a Stanley Cup. Nobody's that delusional. But you thought like, hey, at least we'd have a fun season. This is just unbearable. And it's like, it breaks your spirit. Like I go to watch a game and I'm like, I had that same feeling I had last year. Like, all right, how are we going to lose this time? Like, what's this? You watch Mackenzie Blackwood get broken, and people that used to hate on Corey Schneider are the same people that are starting to turn on Mackenzie Blackwood. And I'm like, dude, now maybe you could see like Corey wasn't as bad as you guys were portraying him to be. It's like when you're leaving the goaltender out to dry so often, and just fundamentally this team just drives me crazy sometimes. And listen, I'm not a professional, but there's professionals out there that are saying exactly what we're saying on this podcast. Fundamentally, this team is completely inconsistent.
They played well tonight. Tonight, I even said it on the postgame. Tonight, they actually reminded me of the Devils from pre-COVID protocol lockdown. You know, they played hard. They hustled. They were working in corners. Like Palms was doing a really good job, and I've been critical of Palms. He did a good job setting up in front of the net and creating a little havoc, a little traffic there, and it paid off. And it almost paid off in an OT win. You know, we're offsides. What can you do? That sucks. I think you could argue that, you know, the evidence wasn't completely conclusive, even though it really did look like Bratt was offsides. But still, like, I think the argument is, like, you know, the view was from pretty far away. You couldn't really, like, 100% be conclusive.
But they have better views than we do.
I know.
The War Room has better views than we do.
I know. The War Room from Dr. Strangelove.
Some of the
Yep, I know.
Some of the views they were looking at on that iPad or that tablet looked very similar to the same that MSG had, because there was the little MSG logo in the corner of their view there.
They're just looking at the
dead giveaway. yeah, dead giveaway.
Like, well,
what's Thanos say? He usually gets these right.
You guys want to, You guys want to see nitpick absurdity with things like offsides. Watch some of the VAR rulings on offsides in some of the English Premier League matches. They are dropping lines on the screen and looking at where a guy's hands versus another player's armpit or a toe are. Like, you want to see absurd and then inconsistent. Look at that. I mean, that's completely off the wall. But like it was so hard, and you can tell that Bratt was attempting to make sure he was onside. He picked up his foot to move it back to the line, knowing he was offside, attempting to get back on sides. So the attempt was there, and they've even changed that rule to where it doesn't even have to be on the ice. It's got to be breaking the plane. Like, you know,
I think it would have been good if he was coming in instead of coming out. I think that rule would have come into play if he was coming into the zone as opposed to like he was already in it trying to come back out.
I'm curious if his timing, because I think Miles Wood. It was Wood or Zaka that was carrying it in.
It was Zaka that was bringing it over.
It was Zaka.
They were all.
I'm curious.
It was kind of a funky play though, where the puck came out and they had to tag up real quick.
Yeah, didn't he make like a random cut real quick? Yeah, I feel like I remember him making kind of a cut real quick that threw Bratt off.
They weren't on the. Yeah, they weren't. Their timing wasn't on the same page.
Yeah, which is kind of makes sense for the Devils this season. Like it's just the timing or whatever you want to call it is just not there. You know,
the problem too is
if there's a play that exemplifies the way this season is going, it's that goal. It's like, look at this 100%. Awesome goal. Oh, wait a minute. Let's rewind and
just kidding. Imagine being there though.
An inch.
Imagine being
I can't
there.
imagine being there. Pissed, I was there 2 weeks ago when they couldn't beat the Islanders. It sucks. Actually, a friend of mine, a good friend of the podcast, Kevin Adams, was there tonight. I don't know if he's going to be listening or not, but Kevin, I saw you at the game. What's up? It would have been, that would have been a phenomenal game for everyone there to be at. Just a PK Subban win in overtime, fantastic. It still annoys me that I saw Islander fans in the arena. They shouldn't be there, especially in this season. They shouldn't be there at all right now. I don't think any opposing fans should be in the building at all, but that's just me. It would have been a great way for the Devils to win. Just to win. Just to have something good to look forward to and talk about.
Just to win. And Scotty,
did I tell you guys did I tell you the theme of this season? The new song, the new theme song for this season?
No.
Everybody hurts. That one?
No. That's a good one too. But I thought of it as soon as I was watching the other game in the third period when the Islanders took over and scored the 2 goals in the prior game. I was like, you got to know when to hold them. Know when to fold them. Know when your hockey team is cause for concern. We got forwards who can't score. Gonna throw them the front door, and hopefully they bring us a prospect in return. There we go. That's what I got.
He's been practicing that for a week and a half, folks, and that's why he plays.
I wrote it last night or 2 days ago in the game, and I've been humming it. But it's the truth. As soon as they scored that goal,
it's true.
But it is true. Like you get your hopes up with this team sometimes, and then you realize they're not there yet. We got to fold. Yeah. This season, it's a fold.
To circle back to bringing in a lot of the prospects, I guess in that 4-game series with the Rangers, which first of all, I was hoping that we'd right the ship the last time we played those back-to-back games with them, and now we're gonna have to go into a 4-game, melee with the. I
think we'll be better. We'll be better against them next time. We played a lot better against the Islanders the last 2 games than we did. I feel like we're coming out of our funk a little bit.
Yeah. I mean, we're getting to a point where we're getting enough time on ice together, or I keep saying they are getting enough time on ice together where they're really starting to figure things out. Hopefully, Nico coming back within the next week or 2 or whenever the hell he comes back doesn't throw a wrench in it and throw it backwards again. I don't think it will because his chemistry with Bratt.
We can go.
Well, that's true too. But I mean, I am hopeful because there's a possibility of seeing, Nolan Foote. There's a possibility of seeing Graham. And I got to tell you, dude, that kid.
I want to see Nolan Foote and Jack Hughes.
Woo. Nolan Foote, Jack Hughes, and Graham Clark. On just bring some of these kids up. Let them just do their thing. Let them have fun. I would even be like, if I was Coach Lindy Ruff, bring the kids up and just explain to all the veterans that are still left, because hopefully most of them have been shipped out. Just be like, listen, backyard hockey. This is cul-de-sac hockey right now. We are going to go out. We can lose 10-2. Who cares? As long as you guys are getting flashy and dashy and having a little fun.
I'm poor Mackenzie Blackwood is like, what? Huh? Excuse me? Huh? Wait, hang on. What was that again?
Yeah.
What?
No,
wait,
kind of what? Kind of who?
Time out. As the only goaltender on this show, I'm going to stop you right there. No.
Yeah, that's no good. We don't want that.
Hell no.
Point being, is just letting the kids be kids.
Not at the expense of 10-2.
Not 10-2. Not 10-2.
Holy crap.
Who's the goaltender out there? They're like, they got this e-bug. They got this e-bug. I don't know. He goes
I'm
by the
available.
moniker of Shorts Guy.
I'm available. I am available. My gear is the correct colors. I'm available if they need me. So when Mackenzie Blackwood and Miles Wood and Wedgwood and Dell get tired, call me. Just call me up. I'm there.
That'd be funny.
Do you want to see 10-2? I go in as an e-bug, it'll be 10-2. I assure you that. And that would be a good score. Only because those guys are really good that I'd be facing shots. I cannot guarantee it wouldn't
like
be
the first
any
shot,
less than 10-2.
like you end up being an e-bug against like Washington, and you look over and there's Ovechkin just sitting there. He's like working on. He's like, hey, I could like rack up at least like 8 goals tonight. Just keep feeding me the puck and just blast them. Yeah. Oh my God. I don't know. Honestly, like, where this team is right now, there's little to no hope for the rest of this year. It's just about progression, and I think we say it all the time. As long as you see development and progression, like a lot of people, you know, they Lou Lamoriello this and Lou. Listen, we love Lou. We wouldn't have 3 cups if it weren't for Lou. We wouldn't have gone 5 times if it wasn't for Lou. But there's towards the end of the tenure there, where the team was getting long in the tooth, and there's a lot of bad contracts, and there's a lot of this and a lot of that. There wasn't that hope of like the future is right around the corner, because you're like, if you remember, the farm system was in shambles, and the team just felt like it was lost. And you know, we had it was like, okay, at least we can watch Jaromir Jagr out there, I guess. That's kind of neat. But that was pretty much it. But now at least we have the glimmer of hope of what the future could be with this team, as long as we see a progression in the right direction, or at least
they're all here. They're all about to be here. You know, that's like we said. You know, we got a couple of them up here now with, you know, Jack Hughes, Nico when he comes back, Ty Smith. You know, you want to include Pavel Zacha in there, maybe a Miles Wood as well. But you know, Riley Walsh, Nikita Ahoytyuk. Oh man, it's so hard to say. Kevin Ball, Nolan Foote, Dawson Mercer, Alexander Holtz. I mean, we're more than likely to see all those guys next year. So
yeah,
I don't know. I'm pretty excited.
I think we're going to see a lot of them next year.
I think so.
We're likely to see them all in April and May.
Yeah, I think we're going to see some of them.
A lot of them, at least.
At
this
point,
we won't see Holtz or Mercer.
Well,
I bet you we'll see. I think we'll see Ball. I think we'll see Ball.
Well,
actually, yeah. But wait, because their contracts will be done then, right? I think that's the thing. Is there, right? There are player contracts for what, Sweden or wherever, or Switzerland? No, Sweden. It's over then, right? He's able to come up. I can't remember what it is.
But then again, we're going to have the quarantine issues. So if these guys aren't, you know, if these guys aren't in country in the next 2 weeks, like there's no chance in hell that we're going to see them, you know, and any of the foreign guys at least. You know, the latest that they could potentially get here would be like, oh God, I would say to even have any chance would be seeing them April 8th if they got physically within country. You know, and that is probably cutting it close, because it's not like seasons past where we can say, oh, hey, he showed up this morning, we put him in the lineup this afternoon. You know, it's like, oh, he showed up this morning, we'll see him in 2 weeks. You know, and then I'd be curious if those guys are going to want to go through the rigmarole of having to, like, well, I'm going to go there and sit in a hotel room for 2 weeks, maybe get a game or two, and then go home. Probably have to sit in a hotel room or my house for another 2 weeks. I could be wrong, but it just seems like for
to get the NHL experience, I think they wouldn't.
Any other year, I'd say absolutely. This year is different.
You got a point.
This year,
that's what I'm saying. Holtz and Mercer, we may not, but you know, Nolan Foote, I mean, he doesn't have to go through anything. He's at bingo. He's playing in Newark. You know, all the guys that Ball, Walsh, Ahoytyuk, you know, I think those guys are the ones that we'll see come up there at the end of the year.
Anyone across the hallway, yes, we'll see. You know, that has some opportunity to come up. Anyone across the hallway, we'll see. I guarantee
Nick Merkley come back.
Yeah. And I have not looked at Binghamton standings. Are they in anywhere near playoffs?
They're not doing too good.
Potential? No.
No, not doing too good.
Well, I know they
They're
closed
doing
down
pretty
bad.
bad.
Much like the New Jersey Devils. Yeah, they're basically in the same boat. But the bright spot has been, from the reports I read, that Nikita Ahoyuk has been really good on that blue line for the Devils, holding down the B Devils, holding down the top pairing over there. So
spells last name.
Oh man, it's with a K. It's like OKHOTIYUK. Why are you asking the dyslexic guy to
because from one person they can't, because you notice I don't even go near that name. We've already cleared
it's
that.
So
up,
hard.
I
know. I'm trying. I'm giving an effort. I'm sure I'm slaughtering it, but that K, it's like a silent K. It's like, what?
You're Baron. I'd be really curious. I'd be really curious to see who's worse at names, you or Billy Dean from Hockey on Tap, because I just have this random he screws up names, multiple times throughout the show, and I'm just like, 1. 5 minutes go by, he says it wrong again. 2.
I mean, when we get near the draft special, I'm so pumped that there's a kid named Power at the top of the draft, because that's easy enough for me to pronunciate. But I mean, like, I struggle with names all the time.
You want to know here's what's disappointing about that kid. His first name isn't Max.
Yeah, exactly. You better change that. Too sweet. And then get a monogram. What do you want your monogram to say? MAX. Normally, it's just the 2 letters. Anyways, that's our Simpsons Power moment for the moment. Do you remember any of the other names, by the way? One of them was, I'll give you one of them, was Hercules Rockefeller, which is a good one. But there's a couple more.
I don't remember any of the other names from that episode.
Hercules Rockefeller is one of my favorites.
I have not seen that episode in a while, so.
Dude, it's the best part about having Disney Plus is the fact that they have every single Simpsons.
I know. You said that last week. I have had zero time to do anything fun like that. So.
But yeah, there's, it's so weird. Like when they lost tonight, my mind immediately goes to that. Like, oof, top of the draft again, top of the draft, and it's just kind of like thinking about what this team needs and what this team can do. We're building all this draft capital, and assuming that we are sellers at the deadline, which there's no way in hell that we're not going to be, unless we get prospects or blue chip prospects back for some of these guys. We're going to get draft picks. We're going to get you just start stockpiling all this crap, and it gets to a point where you're going to have to bring a lot of these kids up to see what they have, because you got to start filtering through the system. Because if you start piling all this in there, like, oh yeah, we got this, we got that, and we got a Holtz, we got a Mercer, and we got a this guy and that guy, that's all great on paper, but that's the problem. Right now, it's all on paper. We've seen kids that are ripping it up in the OHL, ripping it up in AHL, ripping it up overseas. They get to the NHL and they just they fizzle out. So I want to kind of direct a question to both of you. With all the things that we have in our system right now, with all the potential that we have in the system right now, and the probability that the Devils are going to be selling a lot of the team that we see right in front of us right now, which would lead, an open window for a lot of these kids to come up. Do you think that they're better served to get prospects back or draft picks back for any of the players that they're looking to move, like a Kyle Palmieri? Or do you think that they should get a lot of these prospects and maybe pack or draft picks and then possibly move it for somebody? I'm just saying, like, the possibilities, because thinking about what we have in the pipeline, do you really want to keep adding more to that? Is that good? Is that bad? So I don't know. And to you?
I mean, I think they're probably going to aim for more draft picks, maybe some depth. I don't know you're going to get any like stud prospects for any of these guys. Although we did see Fitzy, for a desperate team, turn Blake Coleman into a first-round pick and
Nolan Foote.
Muhammadulin and Nolan Foote. So, someone like that. I mean, then you got to give up someone like a Miles Wood, So I think they're probably going to end up getting more draft picks. I don't think we're going to get any stud prospects, but we might get someone. I'd rather them get prospects instead of the change of scenery prospects. Oh, this guy came up and he was really good. He was like a number 2 pick. I think he just needs a change of scenery and everything will work out. It ain't going to work out. It's not going to work out. I don't want any of those. I want like a real prospect, like a Nolan Foote.
You don't want to retread. Yeah, you don't want to retread.
Yeah. Because that's what I think. Like, but are we going to get like any top line? No, but I think we could get some like decent, prospects and draft picks. I think we could get some draft picks for our guys. I don't think we're getting anything spectacular, but I think, like you said, what we're going to do is we're going to stockpile so many people that it's just like we're going to find that diamond in the rough no matter what, because we just have so many picks and so many prospects. And eventually it's going to be a good situation to have when you're making those lineup decisions where you're like, whoa, like we have way too many people here.
I'm so sorry, Short Sky, because I want to kick this question to you too, but there's one player in particular. Now, I haven't been watching Montreal at all. Okay, I haven't been watching Montreal at all, so I don't know if where he's at in their system. He could be playing in the NHL right now, and I'd be oblivious to it because it's so weird. The North Division is like a different entity this year for whatever reason. It feels like it's a different league to me. Cole Caulfield of the Montreal Canadiens. The Montreal Canadiens right now currently sitting at 4th and coveted spot. And they don't have that much of a lead. They have 31 points, and Calgary is 29, Vancouver 28. So it's not like they have a huge cushion above the 5 and the 6. They could use a couple of pieces that we have. Cole Caulfield coming back and reuniting with Jack Hughes would be one dynamite thing to happen. But I think we might have to move heaven and earth to make that happen. But anyway, sorry. That's the one I covet. The one blue chip prospect.
That's you need some serious, but
a team that's desperate, a team that is desperate, that is right on the cusp of making it. Right on the cusp.
I mean, that's a big.
What does Montreal need?
Listen,
what does Montreal need?
That's the thing. We would need somebody to like really look at Montreal and take a look. But that's an all Canada division. You don't think they have a little extra like? You don't think there's a little extra motivation in that to make it in that division?
What's a problem that we have with Jack Hughes?
He doesn't have a finisher with him. Yeah.
Oh, what else about him?
Size-wise? Are you trying to go down the size road because Cole Caulfield's small?
Yeah.
He's shorter than me.
So, but if you're getting pushed around out there and you got that's and again, it's like we have, the same thing. Sharon Govich, Travis Zajac, Yanni Kokkonen. I've been a big fan of Yanni Kokkonen, but they're three of the exact same player. Nikita Gusev, Jesper Bratt, Jack Hughes. They're 3 of the exact same type of player. We have too many of the same type of player on our team. Yeah. I don't know. I feel like we have Jack. We don't need Cole Caulfield. We need some bigger people to go in there. And I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. But
I don't know.
I don't know what you're going to trade to get him either. I don't know if you have anything on this team not named Nico, Jack, or Ty that would, get you Cole Caulfield.
Yeah, I don't, because I don't even know what, I can't even speculate who to throw at that because I don't know exactly what Montreal would need.
We're going to give him Dmitry Kulikov and, Nathan Bastian. You'll give us Cole Caulfield. Sounds like a good deal.
We'll chuck in Mikey McLeod to make this to sweeten the pot, too.
I would trade McLeod for Caulfield in a second.
We'll send PK Subban, but still pay his full salary, so you can take him on a free all for
back
Cole
to Montreal.
Freebie.
Yeah.
No, he's at the
take him on a
University
free
of
transfer.
Wisconsin.
It's
just ripping it up.
That's my only.
But
he is super talented.
I know. He's
that's my only doubt. I mean, that's my only. Yeah, but it could work out. You never know. but I think we might have someone very similar in Alexander Holtz. You know?
Yeah.
God, you just want to reunite. You just want to reunite Caulfield and Hughes.
Oh, because they were electric together. They were like, you see those kids that play, and they're just like, they can make things happen. Granted, against the talent that they're playing
juniors.
Against, yeah, I get it.
It's
like
juniors.
And that's the thing. It's like
juniors is a lot of fun to watch.
It's a hell of a lot of fun to watch.
It is so much fun to watch.
A ton of fun to watch.
Especially you see a kid like when
both those games.
When Hughes is out there, like when he was dominating, like you see why some kids look like they're going to be the number 1 overall pick because they make they go out there and they like weave and bob and through. They're like, they make everything look so easy. And then you get to the NHL and oh boy.
Yeah. Different story when everyone's at that same level. Yeah.
Or better.
Yeah, that too. You know, it's
can't do it on your own. Ask Connor McDavid. Even with Leon Draisaitl, you know what I mean?
Yeah, he's got help up there.
Yeah. Okay. So
listen,
yeah, he's got help.
Larson,
he's got help.
All right, they got Adam Larson. They should be okay. All right.
Who has the same amount of goals? He has the same amount of goals as Taylor Hall right now. Just
Taylor Hall.
Yeah, he does. They both have 2.
About that. We were talking about that
that's
trade.
Great.
We were talking about that trade after hockey on Friday night. And if you think about it, in the long run, at the beginning, we're all like, oh, we got Hall for Larson. Man, we fleeced Edmonton. You know, I don't know how much Edmonton really got fleeced by that trade after all.
Yeah.
You know, with the way that Hall turned out, and Larson is still playing and still, you know,
in the long run,
good player for them in the long run. You know, it's like, and now Hall is just languishing in the black hole that is Buffalo, which apparently he's looking to re-sign.
Really?
Yeah,
well,
he wants to
he's
resign
not going
now?
to get a contract. He's not going to get a contract anywhere else after this season.
That's the rumor. That
was also the rumor with us too. Yeah, exactly.
Well,
and Arizona.
Jeff Skinner was like, "Hey, I'm a great guy," and he's like, "Come with me, let's go hang out for a little bit." Now Jeff Skinner can't score. What have you done, Taylor? Not again.
Not again.
I mean,
He's
like an evil villain. He's like in the 1980s, like the dude that kicks open the door and is like, you know, wearing his sunglasses and whips him off. He's like, I need your babes. I need your stuff. And they're like, oh my God, Taylor, get out of here. Still refers to women as babes. I mean, anyways. That's Taylor Hall. He'll never be on this podcast. I can guarantee that. So,
I can guarantee that. Yeah.
I probably.
Yeah, I can guarantee. And if he is,
but I
have so many questions. So many questions.
Yeah. I think a lot of people do.
Yeah.
We're a far cry from those days though right now. But I think it's a good thing though. I mean, it was a lot of that. It was a lot of false hope when he was on the team. You know, getting that run to the playoffs. Yeah, it was great. We got our Hart Trophy winner. We got our MVP. You know, and we all had our eyes open when we got there. You know, I was like,
we all loved him.
I was like, Tampa Bay, this is great. We killed them all season. We matched up so perfectly with them, and then we went in there. And Tampa Bay's like,
what was that? Eddie Lack was the lightning killer that year. We didn't play Eddie Lack in that series, which we should have done.
Yeah.
We still got our butts handed
and we
to
realized
us
Tampa Bay. Oh, Tampa Bay is so. And by the way, let's talk about the cap circumvention that's going down in Tampa Bay, which pisses me off. That Kucherov is all of a sudden like, oh, he's kind of good. He's getting better. He's getting better right now. He's on the.
Oh, you knew that was going to happen from the start of this season.
Oh, everybody knew it. Everybody knew it. But I mean, what pisses me off is like you looked at the Kovalchuk deal and like how the NHL came down and took a giant dump on our heads. And by the way, Lou softened that because it could have been way worse what they were trying to do. And Lamoriello was like, no. We'll give you this and we'll give you that, but we're not going to give you the one this year, which we blew on. What's his face's kid?
Claude Lemieux's kid.
Mateau. Mateau's.
Mateau.
Yeah, we blew that pick. The pick that we were supposed to give up. which by the way was stupid on Lou because that was like a 28th or 29th overall pick. It was like a late pick. He was like, no, I want that first overall pick. And then he picked Mateau, who was like had issues going into the NHL year. And it felt like it was trying to get some kind of like weird redemption. I think he was like trying to draft that kid so he could banish him to like the EHL or something like that. But I mean, what's happening in Tampa Bay is an absolute joke. And the NHL just letting it happen when it's like blatantly clear what the hell they're doing. Like, let's be realistic.
Because the NHL needs a foothold in that market.
Oh, I know.
They need a
but
foothold
the
in that
South shall
market.
rise again. Whoa, Gary, can't say that.
The NHL needs a foothold in that. And
no, I said the South shall rise again, and I said, whoa, Gary, you can't say that. He said he needed to get a foothold in.
Oh, okay.
But like crazy people from the South say that crap all the time.
Yeah, well, that's a whole other topic for a whole other podcast.
Yeah, exactly. Not here.
But yeah, the NHL needs that foothold in that southern market, which they've struggled with. With the exception of the Panthers were good for a season or two. Tampa is good, but a lot of those Sun Belt teams are just not consistently good. I mean, look at Arizona. They're terrible.
But Dallas has been good. Dallas has been consistently
not this year.
Dallas but I mean,
terrible.
But Dallas is one of those. Dallas is a good market too, though. Like Dallas, I think they're fine. Like Dallas is one of those teams that, it sucked to bring them from Minnesota because why would you do that? Yeah, but Dallas is good. But yeah, Arizona is an absolute dumpster fire.
Oh well, yeah.
Does anyone think that Does anyone think the Dallas Stars' third retro jersey looks like Fireman?
I haven't seen it. The Tron one you talking about?
I don't know. It's like fluorescent green. It's all like black with like black. Fluorescent. It looks like to me. It just looks like a fireman jacket and suit.
They were trying to go for like the whole Tron thing, like the whole futuristic look.
Neon.
Jeff Bridges. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Interesting.
Exactly. He's a big Stars fan. Hey Jeff, what do you think we should do? And his first idea was to have like orange and blue, but they're like, you can't. No, that doesn't work. And then I realized I was mixing up actors as I'm saying that. Yeah, you get what I'm going.
This is
Jeff Bridges,
this is what happens when the Devils.
Jeff Daniels.
This is what happens when the Devils consistently lose. We just search for things to talk about.
Yeah, but as
you almost went and totally redeemed yourself.
Yeah, exactly. Almost. But that's like the whole premise of this podcast is like if we were sitting at the bar right now without microphones in front of us, this is a very similar conversation we'd be having. We bitch and complain about what's wrong with this team. We try to figure out ways to fix it by being armchair GMs, and then afterwards we just diverge into like random quotes for the rest of the night. So it's a pretty normal night.
Probably would be a lot more Simpsons talk if we were just sitting at a bar.
Oh, yeah. Requesting for the barkeeper to put it onto the TV. Just put it on. It's probably on FX. Just put it on. Just put it on. Who cares? Just put it on. Yeah. I don't need the subtitles. I know what they're saying. Like, I can quote this whole thing.
Are there any?
Go ahead.
I'll ask you guys this. Are there any of our veterans that you think we shouldn't trade?
Are you talking about nostalgic wise, like head or heart kind of thing? Like, are we talking about wanting to keep Travis Zajac for the sake of keeping Travis Zajac?
Not for the sake of it. Do you have an argument why you think he would be good to keep on the team? Palmieri, Zajac, Gusev, Vatanen, Ryan Murray, Kulikov. Anyone who's, we got a lot of PK. We got a lot of players on like expiring contracts.
All right. So if going through the ones that you just said, all right. So I'll tell you, I could give you a reason why I would keep every one of them. I give you a reason why I would love to keep Palmieri, Jersey guy.
So you want to keep being bad like this?
No. But you're not listening to what I'm saying. I can give you a reason, is what I'm saying. I can give you a reason, but the only one I would actually want to keep right now, and it might surprise you, is Kulikov. That's the only one that I want to keep right now. Murray, maybe. Murray, maybe. Because I feel like Kulikov, when he's been good, he's been solid. And I feel like having a veteran defenseman is important for a young team. If we're going to be bringing Walsh, and you're also going to be bringing Ball, and you're going to be bringing in these younger defensemen. Shorts guy nailed it on the head. The cops are coming for you. I hear them in the background. Shorts guy nailed it on the head before.
Cedar Sinai. I'm right by Cedar Sinai Hospital, actually. Yeah.
So, Shorts guy nailed it on the head before. We're not going to be the sexiest, most attractive place to go to on July 1st. So you keep Kulikov, you re-sign him, you have your stalwart defenseman. We're probably stuck with PK unless he just keeps on this hot streak and we find a team to sucker into taking his contract, or we take half of it, or we send him to Seattle like, hey, you guys need that big name. La-da, here's PK Subban on a platter because his personality is fantastic. He'll fit right in and he'll be the face of your franchise. Blah, 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 blah. Kulikov, that's it. I know some people might say that's crazy, but like Gusev, as big as a fan as I was of his last year, like you said, we have 3 or 4 other Gusevs in the system right now. Palmieri, love Palmieri, but maybe he would be number 2 on that list. Outside of that, I think that's it. What about you, Shorts guy?
The only one that I would want to keep at this point would be Kyle Palmieri, just to have that veteran presence with all of these young kids. However, with all of them pretty much being UFAs, Travis Zajac, Kyle Palmieri, with those 2 in particular being UFAs, you could easily ship them out, let them go try to win somewhere, and then re-sign them coming in next year to have that veteran presence instead of keeping them. Sam, before you interrupt me, just let me finish. I mean, all the rest of them, I really wouldn't cry at all to see them go. I don't disagree about the fact that PK Subban could be great to throw out there for that unprotected player for Seattle. I think they're going to need a face for their franchise. But again, I would love to see Travis Zajac go win somewhere, because we're obviously not going to do it within the next 3-4 years, and by that point, I mean he's 35.
Oh, it's the best.
Don't F with me. Don't F with me.
Oh, boy.
Just wait, Sam. I'll have those same controls one day, and I'll be able to do it right back to you.
Oh. That's right.
Yeah, I think the only one I would keep is Kyle Palmieri, but with expiring contracts, you can trade them out as rentals and re-sign them to bring them back to be that presence if you really want. But as far as Travis Zajac, to see him win a cup, we're not doing it anytime soon. So go send him off, let him win somewhere, let him get his name on the cup. I mean, at this point, like I said, Palmieri would be it, but we can re-sign him in the summer if we really, really, really wanted him to remain, because we are at the cap floor.
Oh yeah, we're in the basement.
We have so much space on our cap.
We're cheap.
We are cheap. Unfortunately, we are cheap.
Sell them all.
But yeah,
that's what I say. Sell them all.
I just want to get something good in return. What we'll get, I don't know. But we're talking about, no one is gonna, New Jersey's not the top of the list to come sign over the summer. We got another couple years before, we're even in that conversation.
Yep.
I have the Chico Resch song queued up. You want to hear it?
Yeah.
Things will be better. Oh, yes, they will. For Chico and the man. Yes, they will. For Chico and the man.
That's the theme.
I feel like I should be. I feel like I should have been on a dock somewhere down the shore with some kind of a fruity drink listening to that.
Yeah, right. Can't believe it's 65. So is that why you came on? Is that why you showed up? Just to say that? Just to sing that song?
No, I've been trying to figure out. Shorts guy told me that you can hook up Bluetooth to the iPad. It's some kind of show thing we're doing, and I still haven't figured it out. And that's what I've been doing the last half an hour.
Oh. So you had no input on who you would keep out of all those Devils that Scotty just said?
I already said that on post game, but I probably would want to keep PK. But at the same time, I say sell. Get the draft picks. Maybe you can find somebody as well that's not doing too well that needs a change of scenery and comes to New Jersey. I don't know.
Which is what Scotty hates that. He hates the retread.
Scotty wants nothing
if you
of
give
that.
him a new place to live and a new house, and then all of a sudden he'll find a way out of it. He's a good guy, you know. Oh, come on. Yeah, no, you know what we need to do is if we get, in my opinion, if we sell a lot of those guys, if we sell everybody on that list that Scotty just brought up, don't forget we have Will Butcher's replacement in Riley Walsh. Just saying. We have, Miles Wood's replacement and a couple of guys in Nolan Foote and a couple of the guys that we have in the down. And these are guys, Miles Wood, who's trending upwards big time. You might be able to get a couple of decent picks for them, right? Or you might be able to get some decent, prospects. You start bundling those things together and you send it to a team and you're like, hey, you got this like top 6 winger that's got 2 years left on his deal. You can't afford it. We can. Instead of taking somebody that you need to retread or somebody like Taylor Hall was on the out and outs.
Never again.
In Edmonton. Listen, we'd all lie if we said we weren't pumped beyond belief when we saw that message come through 1-for-1 Hall for Larson. We were like, oh my God, we got Taylor Hall. Oh my God. The Hart season, I'm surprised not every one of us had a Taylor Hall jersey. I never buy a jersey from somebody that's going to be here like for 5 minutes. He never felt fully invested, but we were invested in him. We were like, Taylor Hall's the man. And then like just things, the wheels fell off and then that boat just sank and it was terrible. But in theory, the player that we originally got when we sent Larson there is the type of player that we need. Like a borderline all-star winger that we can pluck from a team. Like you're not going to get like I don't know, maybe one of the Kachuk brothers. Maybe we could get one of them.
Dude, I want defense. Defense
fine, but we also need scoring. Yeah, we could have the best defense in the world. It's not like 1995 anymore. We can't win 1-0 anymore. It's not. It's just the game has changed.
Defense.
The game has changed.
I want defense.
I know you want it. But we need someone to score.
The Islanders can play defense.
But they can also score. Defense. They can also score 4 goals a game
too.
Yeah, they have Matt Barzal who will undress you in the middle of the ice.
Everyone
with defense started. Just look. The defense, the goaltending, get that settled first before you talk about the offense. The offense is fine.
We got the goaltending settled.
Down the middle is going to be fine for the next 10 years. Once we get the defense,
we got to start winning if we want to keep Jack Hughes.
Hold on a sec.
Thank you. That's the other thing too.
Shut up! I'm in the middle of talking here.
Oh my!
Before you get the support for Jack Hughes, get that defense and that no fun zone established, not just for a handful of games, but for entire season before you start arming Jack Hughes with snipers. That's all I'm saying. It's a process. That's backwards if you go offense first.
To Shorts Guy's point, how many years do we have of this rebuild? How many more years are we going to have to sit through this goddamn rebuild? How many more years are we going to have to retool this team to fix these problems?
10 more years. 10 more years.
Right.
10 more years.
2 more years. Next year, we're going to have, we have 4 awesome defensive prospects all coming up next year. Ty Smith, Kevin Ball, Riley Walsh, Nikita Ahoychuk. There's 4 guys right there that we're going to be able to look at, and say, let's at least hope 2 of them pan out. Can we think
and
that
at least Luke
Hughes?
Hughes, and there's a good chance we might end up with Luke Hughes too. You never know.
It's possible,
right? But
it's possible. It's possible.
We are there. We are starting to see these guys come up. Ty this year, Jack last year, Nico before that. So they are finally starting to come. And next year we're going to have a massive bunch of them. That's why I think we need to sell all these veterans. Just sell them. Get what we can get. Don't let them walk away.
On top of that, sorry, Scotty, I just want to also point out about cap
he gets a sorry and I get to shut up. Jesus. I'm so sorry.
Don't Scotty's my post-game partner. I have to defend him every once in a while. Otherwise, I'll be doing a solo. Anyway, so just remember about cap space. Cap space is leverage. If you're on the floor and another team that's got tremendous amount of talent, you want to talk about
years have we heard this?
Well, first of all, you can rip off another winger off another team like Line A just because of that cap space. You can afford it.
Do you want that headache, though?
Yeah, but you know what, though? That's the weaponize the cap space stuff works in theory, but we haven't seen it actually physically work, have we? This team has been talking about that. Ray Shiro used to say that as a mantra. We could weaponize the cap space.
Who's going to come here right now? Who's going to come here right now?
That's my point.
That's the point.
That's the point.
Well, next year, now all of a sudden you have all these other guys coming up, and people are going to start to take notice.
What I mean by
that's why I said 2 years.
The cap is through a trade. Most players don't even have a choice whether they want to go to New Jersey or not. That's all I'm saying. If Toronto wants to dump players, and suddenly Austin Matthews is on the market, I'm just saying, it's not going to happen. But just because his big number, and suddenly New Jersey's right there, where we're loaded with talent. We've got we got things settled down now, and we've got a lot of talent to trade. At least assets to get that big talent. It could happen. But yeah, I agree with you though in a lot of ways, Beer Baron. But I don't think me personally, the Devils' problems, it comes from ownership. I don't think it comes from anything else but that. That's just me. I think it comes from the top. That's just me. And I'm probably going to get my butt kicked in by saying that because honestly, they don't have a track record of winning.
I feel like that's another thing that we've carped about for the last I don't know how many years. Ownership. It's just there are some things with this team that are just it's becoming like a broken record. And we're all hoping in 2 years.
It all started. It all started when Lou left. I knew something was not right.
No, it started before Lou left because of the teams like we've talked about. The teams he was putting together, the players he was bringing in, they weren't bettering the team.
He didn't have a budget.
But
Vanderbeek was broke.
They weren't bettering the team.
Vanderbeek was broke.
Yeah, but Sam, there's different ways of bettering the team than going out and getting, expired contracts. The thing is like if you look, and I'm not trying to open up a can of worms because this is a conversation that could really drive the podcast in a different direction. This team could have won way more Stanley Cups than they did. This team could have achieved a lot higher goals than they did. We had a core at one point of defense and goaltending that would rival anybody in the league at any point. But the problem was we had a GM that was stuck on one thing and one thing, like the logo on the front is more important than the name on the back. And I agree to that because it built a very strong team and a very strong foundation. But it also cost us at certain times. And if you don't believe me, look at the trade of Peter Sikora. Look at sometimes when the A-line got broken up. There are certain times in this team's history where we could have gone and done bigger and better things. And I think this team could have won maybe a couple more cups. But we were held to a certain standard, and it was like the my way or a highway routine. And then, listen, I know there's going to be people out there that would disagree to the day they die with me about that. But anyways, let's get into our final thoughts before we go off on that tangent.
Who wants to go first?
All right. Final thoughts. Sell those veterans. Sell them off. Give Travis a chance to go win a cup. Give Kyle a chance to go play up in Boston or something like that. See what we can get in return. And it's patience. It sucks. It does. But we're paying for those years of Lou. We're paying for that Taylor Hall and, selling some assets when we should have been getting some draft picks. And we're paying for it now. But next year, it's going to be an even better story. It's going to be an even better story. Without COVID, hopefully, without shutdowns, without our captain taking a freak accident, puck to the face 3 days after he comes back from his injury, with training camps, with practice, it's going to be a different ball game. I'm telling you, this year sucks, but it's looking bright. But we need to stay the course. Let's not go and get another Taylor Hall type person that makes us try to jump a couple levels before we're ready. That's my 2 cents.
My final thought is that okay, you go ahead.
I'll agree with you there because I don't think there's another Taylor Hall player coming here for a while. This season is with the way the season is with COVID, with the shortened season, I don't think this season's going to be a good measure of a lot. Other than I just hope that next year's better.
Exactly.
The only good, I will say this. So far, the only good thing that I'm waiting for the end of the season, not next year, I'm waiting for Aaron Dell's pads to show up for sale somewhere so I can buy them.
Well, I think we should do a GoFundMe just so you can, we'll all pitch in so you can buy those pads for sure.
Perfect. They probably won't fit me, but I'll still use them anyway. Who
cares? What is he, 6'4"? Isn't he pretty tall too?
He's 6 something, yeah.
So my final thought is this. I agree with both of you. I agree with Scotty's take on this team. We need to sell. I agree with Short Sky's take on the team. I also agree with him trying to buy Aaron Dell's pads at one point. And I also agree with this mighty fine mullet that I got today. That's right. Because
why did you get a mullet?
Because why not? Because I thought it was a really funny idea. And this is the first haircut that I've gotten in a year. I'll actually explain. There's a real reason why. I'll explain after the podcast. But, that's it. So that's my final take.
That's okay. I don't think I need to know.
No, I'll tell you.
Quiet. I want to know.
This is my final thought. It's really fun fun trolling you guys towards the end of the podcast. I was just making up crap just to get you guys going. See what happens.
Yeah, you tend to do that.
Yeah. Thanks, Sam.
What do you mean? What do you mean?
Thanks for doing that right when we were about to end. You come in here and start a bunch of crap. Thanks.
I didn't see the text. I'm sorry.
Yeah, we know.
I'll drop the podcast at midnight. Thank you for joining us, watching, listening, wherever you are. We'll be back next Sunday at 9 p.m. Eastern. And Scotty and I will be back for post-game
Tuesday.
I might be able to make an appearance on Tuesday.
All right.
Yeah. A guest appearance.
Triple header. Love it.
There you go.
Awesome. Till next time, let's go Devils.